All right, meanwhile, over at the White House, President Trump lashing out today at House Democrats as they step up their investigations against him. He tweeted, now that they realize the only collusion with Russia was done by crooked Hillary and the Democrats, Nadler, Schiff, and the Dem heads of the committees have gone stone cold crazy. 81 letters sent to innocent people to harass them. They won't get anything done for our country. And White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders also called it a disgraceful and abusive investigation. Our very own Judge Andrew Napolitano said earlier today, Dems are casting too wide a net. Watch.
It is not specific what Jerry Nadler is looking for, and the president is right. This is almost literally a witch hunt. They're looking for anything they can find.
Witch hunt? It's like a poorly organized scavenger hunt. Meanwhile, Republican Senate Judiciary Committee member John Cornyn says Democrats are feeling desperate as the Mueller probe winds down. Watch.
They're worried the Mueller report will come up with basically nothing against the president as regards collusion. So that's why I think they're launching this full frontal assault, which, well, as I said, is a prelude to impeachment, and will make sure that we can't get anything else done.
Full frontal, yeah. But House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler is still defending his probe, saying, quote, we have to make sure this is not a dictatorship. So is it a fishing expedition or a witch hunt? Joining me now, President Trump's 2020 campaign National Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, back in action. Welcome back, Kayleigh.
Hey, Kennedy. Great to join you.
So I think it's a bad move for Democrats because it could backfire in so many ways. And if they were really focused and really aggressive in a narrower lane, I think they could do more damage to the president. I've said it before, and I'll say it to you now. I don't think impeachment is the worst thing for President Trump's 2020 prospects.
Right. Well, look how it worked out for President Bill Clinton. It backfired on Republicans. That's the famous example people keep bringing up. And here in this case, you know, this is clearly there's no evidence of anything here. There actually was substantive evidence in the Clinton case of perjury. Here you have absolutely nothing, no crime, no collusion. In fact, you already have the Senate's Democrats in the Intel Committee saying there's no evidence of collusion. It doesn't exist. And so what are they doing? Casting a wide net after innocent Americans in what is a witch hunt after anyone related to Trump.
And you know what happens when your net is too wide? Things fall through, and then you catch dolphins. And that will be the most problematic for Democrats. And you can see all of this going in a very obvious direction. And the problem is Democrats and the House feel very emboldened, too much so, because there are a lot of people who still feel underserved by both parties in this country. And Democrats haven't found a way to capitalize on what's going well and offering that to undecided and independent voters out there. I'm sure that's not the thing that you want to hear, but it's very obvious how the president can take the Green New Deal and these investigations, which could be a road to nowhere, and potential impeachment, and turn that into a trifecta for 2020 victory.
No doubt about it, exposing the radicalism, the socialism, the relentless investigating, and key to this, the unwillingness to work across the aisle. We've seen the mold, how this can work, criminal justice reform, for example, but Democrats are choosing not to do this, and they are running afoul of the American people. There is a poll, Rasmussen, end of last year, voters were asked, do you want Democrats, the incoming House majority, to work with the president or to impeach? It was nearly 70% said work with the president. So they are doing the exact opposite of what the people have said.
And people were relieved when the shutdown ended. Not just people who were affected by it and people who work for the federal government or contractors who had their paychecks withheld for, you know, an uncomfortably long period of time. I agree with you. They do want people to work together, and they have a great deal of respect for people like Joe Manchin. And, you know, even later on, we're going to talk about Senators Paul and Udall, who are working on legislation to wind down the war in Afghanistan, finally. But I want to ask you, and I want you to think about this critically and objectively, who is the president least looking forward to taking on in the 2020 presidential race?
There's no one. I can tell you this because he's not scared of a single person out there. How can you run against this economy? How can you run against these successes? No, I really not, because look, you've got two molds.
Okay, then I'll put it this way. Does he want someone who's more of a socialist? Is that a better punching bag for him than someone who's a moderate like Amy Klobuchar?
I think there are two options that are equally bad. You've got the Joe Biden types, who's not in yet, but he's been in Washington 45 years. He oversaw the failed Obama economy. And then you got the socialists. Neither are good. So how do you choose between bad and worse? I think that's what we're up against.
Well, you also have people like Howard Schultz, which could serve as a spoiler, and Democrats are really worried about him. But then Mark Cuban might get in as an independent as well. So it seems like it is such a free-for-all that it could really, and there are people who thought that Jill Stein and Gary Johnson were going to hurt President Trump, but it ended up hurting Hillary Clinton. Are you praying for a third and fourth party contender as well?
Certainly. We'd love to see Howard Schultz out there, another one of these independents, for sure. That would definitely help us in the long run. But I would also, you mentioned Amy Klobuchar, and I mentioned Joe Biden.
Does the president have a nickname for her yet?
I don't think so, but there was the comment about how she was covered in snow during her announcement. I think we all saw that.
I thought that the president would capitalize on her eating with a comb.
That was a little bizarre, I've got to say. So maybe that will be part of the nickname. We will find out.
All right. Old Dandy Dandruff Klobuchar over there. We'll see. It's so nice to see you, Kayleigh. Thanks so much.
Good to see you, Kennedy.
Very good.